Hello, my name is Justin. Welcome back to my channel, and today's video is going to be a quick short one covering the 2017 Autumn Classic International, which is an event that took place this past weekend in Montreal. Now, I did not follow the competition live because I actually had social plans on Saturday and Sunday, but I was able to catch some of the top programs in each discipline on YouTube, so I thought I would hop on and create a video just giving you my insights and thoughts, because why not? It's so early, but it's also an Olympic season, which makes everything so exciting. So let's go ahead and get started with ice dance. To no surprise to most of us, Tessa, Virtue, and Scott Moir of Canada skated away with the gold medal. No question about it. I think they sold both of their programs, especially the short dance. I love the short dance way more than the free dance. They sell the choreography with such high energy and like great sultry feeling from the first note of that program. I love all the music cuts, especially Black Magic at the end. That's actually one of my favorite pieces of music to hear in skating. And they have a way of choosing great short dance music pieces in the past where the energy level is high throughout the program, but it still manages to build. And the choreography always is carefully placed to enhance the music. And the example of that in this short dance would be the rotational lift at the end of that program. That's insane. They make it look so easy when I think it's actually really difficult. So impressive. Their free dance, however, is good. I think it still needs some work, especially during some of the slower parts. But don't get me wrong, they sell that program to the max. There's still room to grow. But still, just by looking at Tessa and Scott in that free dance, which is my lesser favorite of the two, I can still tell that they are a world-class dance team. It's something about their aura on the ice, how they skate. Like Tessa Scott has amazing edges and knee bend, but also Scott attracts a lot of attention from the viewers as well. He's such a good dancer and performer. He commits to every move in that choreography, so I commend him for that. So congratulations to Tessa and Scott. I will say that after watching them, I was pretty underwhelmed with the performances by Kaetlyn Weaver and Andrew Poje, mainly in the short dance. I was not feeling the Latin vibe from them at all in the short dance. I think there was a lack of commitment, especially in the upper body, from both Kaetlyn and Andrew. I think Kaetlyn, her edges aren't as strong as Tessa's are, and there's not as great as knee bend or extension in the lifts. They are a great dance team though, don't get me wrong. I just don't think they are in a place to fight for a world medal, and that's clear to see in this competition. I'd have to say that their twizzles were not impressive. I mean, they got through them, but they still need work. I think their free dance is actually a lot more enjoyable for me to watch. It's very light and airy, and I think that kind of suits their natural way of skating and their style of ice dance. But one thing I wanted to note by looking at the protocols is that the base value between the programs by Tessa and Scott and Kaetlyn and Andrew are actually very close. So in the short dance, the base value for Tessa and Scott was 30.30, and for Kaetlyn and Andrew was 29.20. But the tech score at the end is quite different. For Tessa and Scott, it's 41.48. And Kaetlyn and Andrew, it's 34.96. So the main difference there is the grade of execution marks that were given by the judges. And just by looking at the protocols, for both the short dance and the free dance, Tessa and Scott were given a lot of 2s and 3s, whereas Kaetlyn and Andrew were given a lot of 2s and 1s. And I'd say I'd agree with those marks from the judges. I clearly can see a difference in the quality of skating between the two teams when I saw their programs in competition. So that's interesting to note. I think that's all I have for ice dance. I was not able to catch up on any of the other ice dance teams. So I was not able to catch up on any of the other dance teams, but Tessa and Scott's programs were the highlights for me. Okay, now moving on to men's, Javier Fernandez of Spain skated away with the gold medal. A little bit of a surprise to me. I think I expected Yuzuru Hanyu of Japan to win here, especially after that amazing short program. I'll get to that in a bit. But Javier Fernandez, I don't think his programs here were that impressive. He did enough to win. I mean, so there's that. But he had some mistakes in the free program, mainly a fall on the triple salchow. That was not a great fall. I think he was attempting a quad. Still managed to crank out a quad toe, quad salchow. Both of his programs actually, granted they are different, the short from the long program, it's nothing new I've seen from him. And same with Yuzuru Hanyu. I'm not seeing anything new or groundbreaking from these skaters on an Olympic year. So maybe that's a sign that they're trying to play it safe and maybe focus on having a overall well-packaged program that they're comfortable with, blending in the very, very difficult technical elements with the artistry. Speaking of artistry, I think Javier Fernandez is pretty lacking still, especially when compared to Yuzuru Hanyu. But he was able to win mainly because Yuzuru had a meltdown. Really not a good skate at all for the free skate. So I'll transition over to his performances, and we'll start with the short program where he broke another world record because why not? He's so good at doing that, he never needs to stop. He was able to break the world record for the short program by being very strategic with the placements of his technical elements, mainly adding the quad toe, triple toe to the second half of that short program to get the 10% bonus on the technical elements. Very smart move on his part. Also performing an amazing quad sal, which gave him +3 grade of execution marks from all of the judges. Good job, Yuzuru. And I'd have to say that short program was amazing. His stamina is a lot better than what I've seen in the past. Flow between the movements, all the jumps look effortless, great transitions in and out of every single jumping pass from what I can remember. Especially that opening quad sal, I remember being so impressed when watching that. I thought that after seeing that short program that he was destined to win, but his long performance skate actually told us otherwise. It just started on a bad note. Let me look at the protocols here. Yeah, he didn't even land a quad. Started off by popping a Lutz and popped many other jumps and even had a fall. His quad toe attempt in the second half of the program was given a downgrade, which is a big loss of points. His not perfect skate was reflected in the program components. I still think they were kind of high for what he actually produced on the ice. But at least they weren't high enough to allow him to win the competition. But I'm not too worried. I think it's still early in the season. I think Yuzuru Hanyu is known as a skater who brings it when it's most important. So let's just hope that he peaks at the right time, and obviously that right time he wants to be is that right time he wants it to be is at the Olympics. But Yuzuru Hanyu, not a good free program skate, but I think he'll bring it in the major competitions for the Grand Prix series. Short program though was my moment for the men's by Yuzuru Hanyu. Okay, now let's move on to the next skater, Keegan Messing of Canada, who won the bronze medal here, which is so amazing. This is a huge accomplishment for him. He is such a great skater to watch. I love how he performs all of his programs. He's such a joy. I can see so much improvement in his raw skating from a few years ago when he was still represented by the United States. So kudos to him with what he's been doing with his training. How he was able to win the bronze medal here was landing 2 clean quad toes in the free program. He attempted it in the short but didn't go quite as planned. But I think he chose the right programs that suits his personality. Like, who says that, it's hard to be unique and programs tend to all look the same and lack expression with the international judging system that's in place right now. Don't get me wrong, we do see a lot of similar programs, similarly packaged, sometimes looking very identical to one another, no matter what music is playing. But Keegan Messing, he's a special skater, and you can tell that with his programs. I love that Singing in the Rain short program, long program as well. I hope for good things from him in the future. He has one Grand Prix assigned, and that will be at Skate Canada International. So this is a good stepping stone to having, really, I hope, an amazing 2 performances there. So let's hope for the best. And last, I also wanted to mention Misha Ge, who actually had the second best free skate in the men's according to the scores, and I can understand why. He's such a beautiful skater, a joy to watch. His long program performance at this competition was the emotional one of the night. I actually enjoyed watching Misha Ge over Javier Fernandez in the long program. You know what? There was no quad attempt, but who cares? He skated well. He did not fall. He did start off his program with a nice bang-in combination triple axel, half loop, triple salchow. I was pretty impressed with that. And I am glad that Misha Ge is sticking around because he's a fan favorite and he's a good one to watch. Okay, next up we have the ladies. And to no surprise, Kaetlyn Osmond of Canada won. I gotta say, Kaetlyn's looking very fit these days. Like, I think this may be the best shape that I've seen her in, so her jumps are looking great. I don't think I ever have to worry about an under rotation from Kaetlyn Osmond because her spins in the air are so fast and the landing is always in the right position backwards. However, when she does botch a jump, usually it's followed by a very bad fall, so we have to watch for that. She went back to her short program from last season. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I wasn't feeling either short program, to be honest, but she did skate well here. Given a large score of 75.21 in the short program, I guess that's on par with what she has been receiving last season, so I can't really complain about that. I am not a fan of her long program. Stylistically, it's not my taste for her. I don't really see her skating to a balletic piece, but that's just me as a personal preference. She did have a fall and she singled an axel, but still managed to win. Components weren't so out of the roof. I think they're a little high for my taste, but then again, we're seeing a lot of these smaller competitions and the judges being very generous, especially with program component marks. So I guess it's on par with the other competitions, but a little high for my taste this early in the season. But what can I say? Kaetlyn Osmond delivers when she needed to. Good job. Commend her for this win. Still has room for improvement. I think if she's perfectly clean later this season when going up against Evgenia Medvedeva or Alina Zagitova, watch that pronunciation, and either of those two Russian ladies make a mistake, Kaetlyn could be in there for the win. Now, I think if you've been watching my videos for a while, you know how I feel about her being overscored. I'm trying to get over that and just accepting it. I'm kind of happy that Canada has a top lady that's in the mix for the gold medal at international competitions. So we'll see what she can produce later this season. I also wanted to say that Mai Mihara of Japan was pretty impressive in this competition as well. I'd say the biggest takeaway I got from Mai was that she has amazing flow throughout all of her programs. Like, just great flow going in, out of the jumps from one spin to the footwork. Very light and airy, and I am definitely preferring her programs this season over both of them last year. I thought she looked juniorish last year, and she's looking more like a senior lady now. I would still do some things with packaging. I think I would give her some more bold makeup to help her stand out, but the costumes are a step up. I'm loving that black dress for her short program. It's very flattering to her body, to her skin tone. Also, her jumps were very impressive here, minus the triple flip, which got an edge call in both the short and the long program. But the long program, she was very impressive with the triple Lutz triple toe combination that she executed twice. Once in the beginning and another time after the halfway mark to get the bonus points. And her tech score actually isn't too far off of Kaetlyn Osmond's, especially in the long program. Kaetlyn received a 71.82, whereas Mai Mihara got a 67.40. I think she can definitely close that gap, as she did end up popping her intended triple Sauerkraut to a double. By the way, speaking of that, how can someone award a positive GOE for Kaetlyn Osmond's single axel? Just curious about that. Not going to get too much into it in this video, but Mai Mihara, I am still unsure on who is going to make the Olympic team for the Japanese ladies. 2 spots and so many top contenders. We have Satoko Miyahara, Mai Mihara, Wakaba Higuchi, then Marin Honda, maybe even a few others. I don't think Mai Mihara is a shoe-in, but she's got a good chance. I will say that. And then who else with the ladies? Elizabet Tursynbaeva. I was able to see her long program to the Celine Dion song. And I also got to say, I'm impressed with Elizabet as well. She is becoming more graceful with age. Not really growing, but becoming more graceful. Better stamina. She looks like she can handle the big jumps better than she was able to in the past. But I'm not sure I would do many of the jumps with the arms above the head as she did, if that means that she's not going to do a clean landing. Some of those landings were pretty sloppy and they needed to be cleaned up, especially when she had her hands above her head. That's going to be a call that she makes with her coaching team, but something I would recommend that they think about. But otherwise, she had some big combinations as well. She had the double axel, triple toe, double toe, and then triple Sauerkraut, triple toe. By the way, both in the second half of the program. So she's being strategic with the jumps, with the placement of the jumps as well, to try to garner more points. Program component marks are lower than Mai's and Kaetlyn's, and understandably so. But I think those are respectable scores for Elizabet Tursynbaeva, receiving mostly low to mid 7s in each of those segments for program components. Then we have Courtney Hicks of the United States, which I think she really blew her chances here. It was her opportunity to show that the USFSA made a mistake by not granting her a Grand Prix assignment, but it did not happen. I think she had potential in the short. Neither programs were perfect, but she gave it away in the long. Too many mistakes, had 2 falls, hasn't fixed the issue with some of the messy landings on her jumps, and she popped a really important sequence, single toe and single axel. So that's really a bummer to see that Courtney Hicks was not able to land on the podium here. Okay, now last up I will discuss the pairs, and I just want to say I'm so happy for Vanessa James and Morgan Cipres, France, for winning their first international gold medal with 2 amazing programs this year. I gotta say, I can't wait to see those 2 programs with the real costumes, assuming that they're not staying in the black and white outfits for the remainder of the season. I'm not gonna lie, they won the competition because Meagan and Eric made so many mistakes in their long program, but they were able to hold it together enough to win the title with 2 great programs. The free program is my favorite of the 2, to the song Say Something. Perfect choice for them because they're known for having more sexual programs in the past, and it's nice for them to skate to something more meaningful and a little more serious, still romantic. I actually think they could push the envelope more and skate it with even more passion and connection with each other later on in the season. So hopefully that happens as this program continues to grow. But their long program was not perfect. Vanessa did pop the toe in the opening combination, and also they did attempt a throw quad Sauerkraut, which was really impressive. A little two-footed, so it received some minus marks for the grade of execution, but who cares? It still looked great to watch. And I made some notes. Let's see what I put here. I think the program is really well choreographed, perfect timing with the music, and an example of that would be towards the end of the program. The Axel Lasso lift happens right at the beat of the song where it starts to pick up. Now that is some amazing choreography there. Kudos to whoever choreographed their program. Let me know if you know who it is. I'll probably look it up right after this video. And this program really has the potential to be something great. And I'm talking like world medal contention great, potentially winning Europeans great. I can see it building. I really can. I'm really excited. Even that last lift to end their free program was very impressive. And their short program was solid as well, behind Meagan and Eric, but they were relatively clean there. Now, let's talk about the Canadians. Meagan, Duhamel, and Eric Radford. We all expected them to win this competition in their home country. That did not happen. They looked like they were on the road to do so with the short program with a huge score of 77.14, and I must say, they owned the music of that short program. Every skate seemed perfect, on point, effortless, perfectly in sync. You could just tell they're such a veteran team, so experienced that not a lot is going to get in their way of doing a great performance, especially in the short program. I don't know what to say, but that long program, the mistakes were very out of character. A lot of falls from Meagan Duhamel that were very costly. Not only were they falls, it looks like on the side-by-side triple lutz, they were given a downgrade, so that's a big loss in points there. I must say, though, that the mistakes aside, I do enjoy this long program more than the long programs they've had in the past. I think it's a more modern piece to skate to. I'm not sure if their other fans would appreciate this because it's a little different from what they do so well. But I personally like this music best out of their last few free programs. I think a lot of people will disagree with me, but that's okay. It's just my personal taste. And I think appropriately so, the program component marks were lower for them in the free program, and they actually lost in components to Vanessa and Morgan in the free program, and rightfully so. So it was good to see that part of judging being very fair and correct. And then the last skating pair I will talk about would be my favorite Canadian pair who won the bronze medal. It's Julianne Seguin and Charlie Bilodeau. I mainly watched their free program, and I gotta say, everything I love about them still exists. I'm happy that they're back and recovered from their injury. Great connection to one another. Everything flows so well. I've used the word flow with a few of the skaters today, but it's true. I guess I'm a big fan of when the moves are, when the skating is effortlessly transitioned into a move and out of a move, minus the first technical element. I think they both had struggles on that opening combination, the triple toe and double toe, but still had a great triple twist. And I think what I remember today after watching Julianne and Charlie is that they have the perfect combination of light and airy and commanding without being too much of either one, but instead being the perfect blend of both. Like, they're never too much, but they're never too little. Does that make sense? I love that about them. I have a feeling that down the line, like in the next few years, that's going to have to change a little bit if they're going to want to fight for medals at the World Championships. I think they're going to have to be a little more commanding with all of their moves. But for now, I think they're great skaters. I'm not sure if they're going to be the ones that make the Olympic team. As we all know, Canada has such a problem with pair skating where there are so many great pairs. There's 4, but there's only 3 spots to the major competitions. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm not sure Julianne and Charlie are a shoo-in for an Olympic spot, so we'll just have to see. And all right, everyone, thank you for watching this video. I think I'm at the end. Sorry this is so short and brief, but I will be watching Nebelhorn Trophy live this upcoming weekend, so expect a longer recap with greater details. So once again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you all later. Goodbye.